It's not often that a yearly video game series has a selling point presented right in front of them on a silver platter. But somehow in 2024, that's exactly what 2K and Visual Concepts had. You see, a decade earlier, in WWE 2K14, they had 30 years of WrestleMania, arguably to this day one of the best single player campaigns in any wrestling game. So fans anticipated 10 years later that we'll have 40 years of WrestleMania. And while 2K and Visual Concepts definitely took advantage of that marketing, the actual end product was something fans, everyone did not expect at all. They somehow turned 40 years and made it smaller than 30. This is WWE 2K24. How WWE games wasted 40 years of WrestleMania. Oh, what's up, Mustafa? And young schooler, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I just can't believe it. We're pretty much near. This is the end game. I said that yesterday. The prelude to the finale. Just one more stream, we completed it. Oh, hello, Vincent. Thanks for stopping by. We are on 2K24 now, and we have a lot to talk about. So actually, before we even begin at all, I would like to ask you guys a question. Dang, it's almost the end. I know it feels like just yesterday I started this event, even though I checked the calendar. It was actually April 17th, 24 days straight so far. And I appreciate you guys all here. So let me ask you something. Before we even go any further, tomorrow, the finale. I mean, it's not like it's any bigger than, it's because basically the finale, I'm also going to talk about how the future direction of this channel is. So I'm just going to ask you guys, would you like that stream to start an hour earlier and end an hour later? Or you have no problem with 8 o'clock? So like ideally, if you guys want me to start an hour earlier, we can start at 7 and then possibly end at 11. Hi, Ali. Man, all you guys are here. It's just awesome. Awesome. I appreciate it. It's up to you guys. I'm just putting that question out there. Because it's not like I'm going to be talking a lot about the future. I'm just saying, like, because it's the end, to make it a tad bit special, you guys want to start an hour early and then we end an hour later, or start an hour earlier in general. Just perfect. Keep the 8 o'clock slot exactly how it is. I'm just going to pose that question to you guys as we continue. Now, with other games in the past, unfortunately, 2K24, sorry, I'm sad today. Real Madrid lot. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Let me see. Oh, that's soccer. Barcelona won. Madrid, Real Madrid. Is that how you pronounce it? Okay, that's soccer. I see. So it's funny. Side note: FIFA, right? I've only played the FIFA demos, and one of the teams you play as is Barcelona. So I only know soccer pretty much from this Barcelona, and that famous. Well, there's two famous soccer people. I'm drawing a blank on their names at the moment, but that's pretty much my only intro to FIFA. It's not that I don't like soccer. I do like the. I just never have time to watch it, and I've only played demos of the game. I would love to get into it if I have time, but okay, but yeah, I see they got 2-0. So how does soccer work? How many innings? I mean, how do they have like 4 innings like in football? Or how long was the game for it to be 2? I know soccer. I've seen soccer games like forever when it's just 0-0 tie. Like 1 point usually decides it. So it doesn't matter to me when you start the stream. All right, perfectly fine. I'll take note of that then. I'll figure it out tomorrow. This WrestleMania mode. Yes, it is. We're gonna talk about that. But as I said, and the only third time in this video game series, this game is unfortunately covered with controversy that we have to get out the way before we even start. Before we even talk about the actual main selling point of this game, this game has just already had an uphill battle going against it. So, in SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, we had the issue with real life controversy with Chris Benoit. It affected the game while it was being developed. With WWE 2K15 with the Hulk Hogan situation, we had the game get affected after it got released, which was pretty much just him not being purchasable afterwards and then completely being removed from 16 all the way to 19. The controversy with this one actually affected the game while it was already done and right before it got released. So it was in a very unique situational position. What I'm referring to is obviously the current ongoing situation with Vince McMahon but it also affected Brock Lesnar. So we're not going to harp too much on this. I'm just going to try to quickly get up to speed of why this is relevant to the video game. Back in 2022, Vince McMahon had to step down due to ongoing allegations with Janelle Grant. And because of that, he got kicked out. Triple H got in charge. Nick Khan became president. Eventually, Vince briefly came back in, sold to TKO in 2023. All that good stuff. January 2024, where shit hit the fan. So it's like the timing of this couldn't have been any worse. The week of the Royal Rumble, they announced the release of 2K24, 30 years of WrestleMania. They showed the cover edition and everything. Brock is on the deluxe edition, which we'll get over. However, literally not even days before the Royal Rumble, the lawsuit came out, and obviously Vince McMahon was going to be a part of that. But what people did not expect was Brock Lesnar's name to be mentioned. Now, I must stress, Brock Lesnar isn't getting sued. It's just his name was getting mentioned a lot. However, due to the seriousness of it, this whole situation, WWE decided to just do the safest thing possible and remove Brock Lesnar from up, because he was supposed to return at the Royal Rumble. He was off TV after he lost to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. He removed him from the Royal Rumble. They removed him from his upcoming match with Gunther at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. And he was also supposed to face Dominic Mysterio at the Elimination Chamber. All this stuff. They removed Brock Lesnar. He did not appear again until SummerSlam of 2025. As for Vince McMahon, they have pretty much since then, for the most part, outside of a few exceptions like the Hall of Fame, and they pretty much, they don't treat him like Chris Benoit, but they just avoid saying his name unless it's like the Hall of Fame or something outside of WWE. So for the most part, his name is not mentioned. His accusations, I mean, in terms of the lawsuit is still going on, but for all intents and purposes, in terms of Brock Lesnar, they even realized there was no point in keeping him off of TV. They brought him back. So they know, as far as they're aware, at least in terms of Nick Khan, they feel as though there's nothing on Brock Lesnar. Well, I mean, again, I must stress, because people are confused. Brock Lesnar was never getting sued. It was only Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, and then it just became Vince McMahon. Brock Lesnar, his name was just mentioned, but then I'm going a little bit into it. I don't want to get that far into it. There were so many names mentioned there. Stephanie McMahon's name was mentioned. Triple H's name was mentioned. Nick Khan's name was mentioned. They didn't get taken off TV. That's why I never understood why Brock was taken off of TV. I understand it was probably above WWE. This was more of a TKO situation. They just didn't. They just wanted to play it safe. But it's like, it is what it is. So how does that relate to the game? If these were a low-card wrestler, his career was over with. But I mean, again, it's about, well, like, in terms of events, they pretty much just pretend like he doesn't exist anymore for the most part. Brock is like, his name was, again, not to get too much into it, it's just his name was mentioned. Now, if you really look at the semantics of the lawsuit, nothing. The most Brock done was basically potentially about to cheat on his wife. For the most part, that's essentially, if you want it in a factual sense, that's pretty much what Brock had done. But again, all this is alleged at the end of the day. We're going to get into 2K24. We're actually getting into it right now. We just had to get through this, because this affects the game greatly. Because both Vince and Brock Lesnar was supposed to be in 2K24, and they still are. How about the problem is there's complications with that. Because of this situation, and 2K24 was basically done. They couldn't do a Chris Benoit and completely remove him. They couldn't do a Hulk Hogan where they remove him after the fact. So what they decided to do is a first for the series. Make them completely disabled. Or like just completely disable them. What do I mean? In terms of Vince McMahon, his character model is completely disabled. So what do I mean? You cannot access this man whatsoever. Yes, if you have a PC or mods, you can get around that. But in terms of the general public, this man cannot be accessible. The only time you actually see his in-game character model is in one of the WrestleMania showcases where it was completely unavoidable, which we'll get into. Outside of that, there is no way you can access this man. Brock Lesnar's a different story. Because he was already coded into matches with 40 years of WrestleMania, they couldn't prevent that from happening. So you do play as Brock Lesnar in 2 of those matches. You just can't unlock him. And he's also part of the semi-final boss battle in the My Rise mode for the men. And they couldn't, again, take that out at the last minute. The game was about to be released in less than a month. So you fight him there. But outside of those spots, you can't fight or wrestle, you can't play with or fight against Brock Lesnar outside of Showcase or My Ride, unless you mod the game and then do all that good stuff. And so in terms of that, that's what affected the game right off the bat there. Which is funny because a year later they put Brock Lesnar back in his DLC. So I was like, oh, funny how that works, right? Funny these married men do weird stuff. When you're rich and you have money, it is what it marriage and money. I mean, money means more than marriage. So what could I say? Funny how we never get Linda's side of the story. I guess she's doing the most. I mean, again, when you're in positions of power, you just gotta just let things ride. I guess. Again, it's not like I'm rich, but I would imagine it's better to just let things be as they are. Anything you say would make things worse. So it is what it is. I still think Jane was guilty too. I mean, she had this is not a case of me agreeing or disagreeing with you, Mustafa. I guess based on my comments, you probably could tell my position on it. It's just, I'm talking in terms of the context of the game, how it affected it. We could probably do a whole separate stream talking about it, but it's just in terms of context, you can probably tell just through my dialogue what you think my stance is on it. So, but yeah. It's just in terms of the game, that's how it affected. Or My Ride. Yeah, Chris Benoit is my 8th favorite Russo aggression era. I mean, Chris Benoit is one of those situations where you gotta separate the paint from the painter. It's like, he's great. Honestly, I don't condone what he did, obviously, but people would try to spin it that way if you mention Chris Benoit. And any sort of positive light is like, yeah, I like the guy's work as a superstar. I don't think any rational person would like condone what he did. He was on this. If you don't have to, yes, we were going to get into that thanks to a fellow YouTuber. I mean, everyone else, the modders already knew it, but like a fellow YouTuber of mine greatly went in depth on it about the early version before they patched it in. He was on there. Who's Jane? Janelle Grant is the person with the lawsuit against Vince, who briefly worked with who worked for WWE for a large portion prior to 2022. Do you think Brock vs. Roman would be possible? Not anymore. It's just no point. We already know that at the end of the day, I think, are they even in wins against each other? That chapter is over. That chapter has basically been over since SummerSlam 2022. But try to get back on track here. But yeah, that was essentially that. And we're going to notice what I mean when we go throughout this presentation, throughout this stream. WWE 2K24. Published by 2K, developed by Visual Concepts. Nothing has changed, they are the sole developers now, which is fascinating. Cool, great, all that good stuff. Still, once again, on the Xbox Series X and S, PS5, PC, Xbox One, PS4. Once again, there's virtually no difference between any of these systems, but I must point out this is the final game to have cross-community platforms across all 5 of these systems. So I know I haven't really mentioned community creations that much. I was going to say for 2K25 because that's where it's more relevant than anything. Basically, if I were to upload something, I'm part of PC. If I were to upload something on PC, everyone on Xbox, PS5 can all download it, and then vice versa. This was the final game that they allowed you to do that, and we'll get into why with 2K25. When you are a billionaire, someone out of the blue puts a lawsuit on you. That's normally, no one likes when you're successful on top. Everyone's got to bring you down on your level. The last game I last year was my main guy. Yep, it's actually the last game for a lot of people. Now that I'm looking at the roster, it was actually the final game for a lot of people, whether they got released or whatnot. It's actually the last game for a lot of people. This is where they made money off of Bray Wyatt with the edition, and that's, yes, they held off Bray Wyatt for that special edition, which you beat me to it. That was actually the next segment I was about to go at. You beat me to it. So again, the 2K24 had the standard edition with Cody Rhodes, the deluxe edition with Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, which I think is great, but once again, no physical release, and the special edition of the 40 years of WrestleMania. Now, you're going to notice with the 40 years of WrestleMania, there's actually a big difference. The original release is on the left with Brock Lesnar. Due to literally the same week they put out that trailer, and then a couple days later, the next trailer with the showcase, they replaced him with John Cena. Just basically enlarged John Cena, put Triple H right there. I want to discuss more of this thing because clearly everyone was supposed to have a match on this cover in the showcase, but Triple H does not have a match for some reason. We're going to get into that. That's to my theory on what happened there. Did you like super? Yeah, actually, yes, I do. I don't like the effect of super finishers. We were gonna get into that. I don't like the effect of super finishers, but I do like the idea of what it does. The stupid VFX effect is, once again, it's like priorities 2K. I like that you put it in the game, but this unnecessary childlike stuff in a wrestling game is not needed. It's just not. I do like the idea of this finisher, you hit it, the probability of them kicking it out. It's like, that's great. I like that part, but the stupid, luckily you can turn it off. Thank God. If you weren't able to turn it off, I probably would have never used them. Ever owned a Nintendo Switch? No, I was thinking of getting a Switch for my mom because she likes Animal Crossing, so I was gonna get her one. But then the Switch 2 came out in this whole price situation. Do you guys own a Nintendo Switch? How is it? Out of all the games I actually want to play on Nintendo Switch, Donkey Kong Bonanza. I always wanted to play Odyssey. Basically Odyssey and Donkey Kong Bonanza are the main games I want to play on there. But everything else I could just play on my PC that I would actually care about. I mean, Fire Emblem, I stopped playing Fire Emblem after Awakening. I got to finish the 3DS version before I get into the Switch version. But yeah, in terms of a Nintendo Switch, new. I'm thinking about getting one for my mom, so in essence, I'll basically get one for myself. And speaking of Bray Wyatt Edition, as you earlier mentioned, yes, a special edition Bray Wyatt, which essentially has a Elite action figure, Elite, whatever, the final Fiend that we never got on TV due to his passing, and a updated Uncle Howdy that actually has Bo Dallas face model and all that likeness. Because before in 2K22, I forgot to mention they based it off The Miz, because we truly didn't know who was under Uncle Howdy's outfit. But we knew it was Bo Dallas, but they didn't want us to know. But this one, yes, it actually has Bo Dallas's facial textures, models, all that good stuff for there. 40 years WrestleMania, but wait a minute. You said you were going to talk about the very white edition, last game for Bad Bunny. Wait, what edition, Alex? I was going to talk about the Bray Wyatt edition. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. And the Bad Bunny edition from 23. Yes, they held off just holding the extra attire for Bad Bunny they could have put in the game earlier, but they did not do that. Imagine. I guess they could have. I guess it was too late. Never mind. Let me rephrase that. I guess they could have put in a tad bit later, but yeah. Imagine making Cody the cover star terrible. Imagine making Cody the cover star terrible until the next game. I mean, Cody Rhodes got dealt a bad hand. He was the anticipation of this game of 40 years of WrestleMania. He was dealt a bad hand with this one. Man, very sad to see Kairi Sane got again. In terms of the releases, I know we're getting off track, but I have no problem getting off track. We're about to get to our next part anyway. In terms of releases, again, I love Kairi Sane to death, but again, let's be real. Let's call a spade a spade. She's not a draw. She was getting reactions, but like no one's paying. That's how TK, again, there's the between when it was just WWE. Vince McMahon probably gave you as many chances as possible. Surprisingly, he probably would have, but it's just TKO. They're looking at the numbers. If they're not drawing, why are they here? I'm sad for Asuka. Yeah, I mean, I actually had time to watch the match. And it was great. I don't know if Asuka's retired. It's just one of those things where it's like it's open-ended. We're gonna see. So we're gonna get to this in a second. But to go over the DLC, we're actually gonna go over DLC, just get out the way. But yeah, in terms of Asuka, it's probably open-ended with Brock Lesnar. I truly believe Brock Lesnar's gonna have his retirement match at SummerSlam. And he's probably gonna give it to Gunther because that just has to happen. Gunther is the career killer. Like, obviously he can't retire Asuka. Retiring Brock Lesnar will, like, him just retiring out of it doesn't work. It has to go to Gunther. I'm not saying Finley defeating him was a moment, sure, but his final match has to be with Gunther. That's his whole gimmick. Like, why not? So, speaking of Kairi, I know, here she is right here. The season pass for 2K24. Arguably, in terms of lineups, I think this was probably the strongest DLC lineup that 2K had since 2K22 onward to this day. I still think 2K's 24 DLC list is probably the strongest they had. Yes, I'm ignoring even with the Pac McAfee. This is like, in terms of the people in it, this was like the strongest tier. I know, I was like, yes, even the fact that McAfee's pack is in it, I completely ignore it. Even you could just ignore that completely. I still think this is the strongest tier, just for the lineup that they had, which we're about to go over. So first off, if you were to pre-order the game in general, you get 5 people. Cody Rhodes Elite Persona, we'll get to personas. Cody Rhodes Undashing, Dusty Rhodes, Stardust, and Superstar Billy Graham. for the 40 years of WrestleMania. So we gotta. This is what I mean, where it's like, what are we doing with the whole 40 years of WrestleMania? Keep in mind, I must stress this. So for some reason, if you pre-ordered the 40 years WrestleMania pack, you didn't get this stuff day one. They actually made you wait a little bit just for these people, which was Charlotte Flair 17, Macho Man Randy Savage, Rey Mysterio 06, Rhea Ripley 20, and Triple H 14. These were not actually same day release. And also you got the WrestleMania. This is the first game where WrestleMania, you get this WrestleMania 40. This is the trend where they started. You get the same WrestleMania that came out of the year. So we got WrestleMania night and day for 40 in this game. Last game I'm sad for Oscar. Pat McAfee was horse back. The trailer for this game was funny. Yeah, it was the AI versions of Hogan, Undertaker, Stone Cold. I remember. I got the deluxe edition for sale and I was disappointed. I'm just outside. I don't know. It was in deluxe edition. I got obviously the WrestleMania edition. Oh, well, this was in deluxe edition. There you go. Bianca Belair 17 and Rhea Ripley 17. Look, I have nothing. I love Bianca Belair and I think Rhea Ripley's great. Bianca Belair is my top, is my second favorite women's wrestler, but it's like, what am I? This is supposed to be a WrestleMania thing. You could at least gave me something. Like I don't know. Like, it's not these two. I mean, I know they gave us Bianca Belair's attire last year for WrestleMania, but it's like, what is this supposed to do for us? Absolutely nothing. I get they gave them their earlier incarnations, but it's like, who did anyone truly play as these versions? Honest to God. What, they couldn't give us regular dashing Cody Rhodes? No, that would make too much sense. I guess their logic is you can't take off the face mask, so that would have gave you dashing right there. Maybe that's why. If that's the case, if that was their logic behind it, I actually had no issue with that because that was a whole wasted model. Then just take the mask and unmask. You can actually take this mask off, and it's not like a glitch or anything. You could legitimately take it off, so you could make dashing Cody Rhodes right there. They finally fixed Hogan 80s model. Check on it later. Okay, I'll definitely check on it then. And then that was it. So in terms of DLC, right off the bat, they needed to strike while the iron was hot. The ECW Punk pack. So unlike other instances, this is like the only pack where everyone had no choice but to be DLC. The Dudley Boys weren't contracted to WWE. In fact, I think they were still in TNA at the time. CM Punk obviously just came back. There was no idea if he was going to be in the game day one. Sandman hasn't been in the goddamn game since SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. And Terry Funk has not been in this game since WWE 13. So all of these people are justifiably had to be DLC. This is not a case of they took them out and they were like, none of these people. So I mean, outside the Dudley Boys, none of these, and CM Punk, but he left and came back. These two were never in a game which 2K owned or licensed. So this makes perfect sense. And just glad that all these back. So all this 100%, yes, this had to be DLC regardless. And I'm so happy that it was first. So yeah, you wanted the regular dashing theme? Yeah, I mean they could always add music in there. Ringside Pass makes me miss this. I know, it's just simple stuff. You just buy the packs and just call it a day. You don't have to grind. Again, I wish I added 2K26 to this event, but that's not what it's about. Like the grinding aspect, it's not even grinding for me. I'm just playing the game as I regularly play, and I would just unlock stuff. Cool, but it's just the rewards that you're unlocking is worthless to me. I don't care about my faction, and I don't care about the island. But those rewards. 80% of those rewards are just that. So I don't care. That's why I'm still on level. I actually have not grinded anything with season 2. I got, the 20 extra tiers because of the whole situation. I've not touched the game since, partly because of this event. But the other reason is just like, I don't care about the rewards. I literally don't care. I really don't care. I remember seeing the trailer. Again, they make good trailers, but it's like they lie to us. We're gonna get into it. They lie. So Post Malone and Friends pack. Again, this lineup is pretty solid. The Headbangers has never been in a main WWE game, so right off the bat, that's great. Honky Tonk Man was in 2K16. I mean, he was out long enough to justify, even though I don't know why they took him out to begin with. Same thing with Jimmy Hart and Sensational Sherry. Post Malone is just in here because he curated the soundtrack. I can understand that. But I mean, again, people who probably had no choice but to be DLC. Okay, great. Second, 2 for 2. We're just going to completely pretend like this pack doesn't exist. There's no point in mentioning it. Obviously, Pat McAfee would have been the only viable one. I know they argue that they didn't waste roster member slots, but they did. Let's be real. They absolutely did. So this was completely worthless. They might as well have made Pat McAfee freaking the pre-order bonus DLC for all intents and purposes. Just ignore this. The Global Superstar Pack. God, it's like no one asked for this. I mean, people asked for this on him online. I have zero issue with Pat McAfee. Again, like no one asks for this. Like no one asked for this at all. And this gave them the idea for what they did next year. So that's great. This prompted them to do what they did next year, which I think is the worst lineup of DLC of all time. Even though they have the Motor City Machine Guns, but we're going to get to that in terms of overall. The Global Superstar Pack. This is where I have to raise my eyebrow a little bit. He went on his show complaining that we hate it. And they knew it because it's like they weren't supposed to. They wasted 5. Yeah, how many people? I see here. I thought I was going to talk about it. 1, 2, 3, 4. They wasted, for him, fine, 4 people who literally, as far as I'm aware, never been on WWE TV except for that one time with Adam Cole in 2021. That was the only time I think I seen any of these guys on actual WWE TV, outside of him, of course. The Global Superstar Pack. So once again, so we had to start, again, raising eyebrows here. Carlito was technically on and off. He signed a contract and whatever. And then, so I can understand he was DLC. He didn't properly make a return until September-ish, early. Like, so I can understand him. Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria, zero excuse. They should have been in the game. Dragon Lee literally made his in-ring debut at TakeOver 2023. This game came out in 2024. So it's like there was zero excuse. Lyra Valkyria has been in NXT UK, then she got transferred to NXT. She's been in there since 2023. Actually, early 2022, 2023. It's like they even tag team with each other. That's how early they've been. Like, this is my point. It's like these people should have been on this. There's no reason why these two, especially, fun fact, by the time this game came out, Dragon Lee was already on the main roster. He was about to be at WrestleMania. Like, that's how late, this is how late this was. And by the time this pack came out, Lyra Valkyria was already the NXT Women's Champion. I think she already beat Becky Lynch. So it's like, once again, the timing of this makes no sense. Jade Cargill, it's 50-50 because she was already signed to the company in like August. She didn't properly make her debut until the Royal Rumble, so it makes sense. Kairi Sane was just bad timing. She came like in November alongside Punk. Michelle McCool, they could have just threw her in there, but it is what it is. Nia Jax is also very questionable because she technically made her return at the Royal Rumble 2023, but she didn't properly return until like September. But she was obviously signed to the company in some way or form back then, so they could have at least added her. And fun fact, I'm about to say, yeah, fun fact, they did not change her entrance motion at all. I shit you not. The same entrance motion. So you literally paid for a returning model that had the same entrance motion from 2K22. Thank you for pointing that out. That's the DLC, just with Pat and his boy. Yep, this was it. You had to pay for this. Yep, waste of a whole month. July, just waste of a whole goddamn. Actually, it made you wait 2 months just for this. Waste of a whole month. This game sucks. So here's the thing about this. It's a travesty. If we ignore 4 years of WrestleMania, which we'll get into, honest to God, this game is really not that. The thing with these games in general, the gameplay is not bad. It's what they're doing with this game. No, 2K25 has a right to be here. 23 and 24, I can agree with you, especially 23. But 2K25 has a right to be here. They tried with the showcase, and I still think it has a good buy rise. Can you do a teaser for the next game's DLC? I'll just talk about it a little bit. I guess we can, yeah. And then the last pack, again, this is a perfect example of why. So fun fact, DDP, Lex Luger, and Mr. Perfect, they were all in 2K19, by the way. I must stress this. And I think the Iron Sheik was in 2K16. That was it. So the Great Mood is technically the only new person under 2K to be in the game. These 3 people were already in the game before. There was no reason for you to take them out at all. So me repaying for Superstar that are already under your license before makes no sense to me. Especially so early, like 2K19. I can understand it was like 2K15 or 16. 2K19 for all 3 of them. Only Great Mood is the only new one. And then again, the Bray Wyatt edition, Bray Wyatt Elite, The Fiend, and Uncle Howdy. 2K, awful 2K showcase. No, I mean, this, yes, 2K25, it wasn't that bad. And Carlito was outdated when DLC released because he was in the just. Exactly, that's my point. They wasted, that Pat McAfee thing wasted so much time as well. I mean, granted, but it's just like, it was just a waste. And again, people like Dragon Lee and Lyra should have already been in the base game. I had a ball with this game. Unfortunately, like I said, the gameplay, I must stress this. Despite my gripes, I know how this sounds. I will stand by this. The gameplay of these games aren't bad. It's just everything around it. You can only have so much fun with the gameplay where everything else around it is unfortunately hindering your gameplay experience. Unfortunately. 2K25 it wasn't bad. It was different. Again, I have no problem with stuff being different. It was what's the word I'm looking for? 2K25 Showcase had no story to them. It was just, but at least it was different. Literally, right? I mean, like I said, it was different though. I appreciate it being different. 2K25 80s and 70 matches in their current Raw arena. Laziness. I mean, again, there's pros and cons to everything, but I at least enjoyed 25 for what the showcase did and the My Rides. I still appreciate what they did with the My Rides. It was different. And I will respect them for that one. That was my first game back since 2K15. 2K24 or 25 remembered back in SmackDown vs. Raw game, your game was different from your friend's game, but it was the same game. Now it's all the same. Like, that's why I said your experiences were different for games that weren't even online. Like, even like you just mentioned, like SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, your locker room. You can customize it how you want it. It's your way. Every universe mode, when you first load up your game, is going to be a completely different experience. None of this happens in these games. Wasn't outdated since the game was covering 2023. But he was just outdated in the context of they should have put him earlier in the DLC. Like, I guess I understand what he's trying to say. Like, so for example, like you notice how Punk came out in May. I guess the argument is it's just a lineup. Like basically what they should have just done is had the ECW Punk pack and this pack, the first two packs. All these other packs were inconsequential to anything. But of course, why would they do that? Because I'm gonna mispronounce this word, artificially inflate the game's lifespan by having the pack that they know people want the current superstars in, delayed all the way to the fall. They keep you playing all the way to the fall. That's literally what they did. So yeah. They're all garbage crap. 2K24 and the accelerator didn't lock in everything. I think you're right too. It didn't even lock any of the showcase stuff, right? They snuck those other packs in. Punk should not have been in 2K24 since the Rumble was part of it. I didn't buy him for that. It was 2K24. Punk should not have been in 2K24 since Rumble. No, but they were gonna throw him in there. The funny part is they were gonna throw him in there regardless of the WrestleMania thing. They already signed him in. I mean, they already scanned and everything. He wasn't. I knew he was never meant to be on this for 2K24. What I meant was in terms of the DLC, this and the current day stuff should have been the main thing. Give me one epic memorable match from 2K25 showcase. I dare you. I did like Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins from the Royal Rumble. Just how, again, I appreciate effort. They made an alternate with their in-game cutscenes. They made an alternate ending to how would it ended with Roman and Seth. Again, I appreciate stuff like that. That requires effort, and that's for 2K's sake. I know the bar is low, which we're about to get into with our main event of today's evening. The bar is low, so I still gotta give credit. I'm not gonna shit on them all the time. Yeah, but they were working to confine the fact they took time out of the way to make an alternate ending for it. Is what I'm going to give them credit for that. Like, I know I shit on them a lot, and I still. And we got 3-minute warning again. Yeah, we got Rosie. We got Umaga. When was the last time we got Umaga back in the game? That's what I said. Like, stuff like that. The guy in Roman Reigns 2K showcase with an old version of him. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised they're going to go that route. We don't know what the next game is anyway. Punk still got the same entrance to this day, even though it's retro creation. I'm going to praise the stuff that works and praise stuff that doesn't. And had we gone on 2K26, I would talk about that a lot more with Punk. It's like they recycle entrances. Like, for God's sakes, Tiffany Stratton entrance, they're just now updating for 2K26. She's been using her NXT entrance since 2K23. You can't make this shit up. But, yeah. So, our main course of this evening, before we get to that, 2K24, as I said, is the anniversary of this game for 2K14. Now, I must stress, this game, did we get Straight Edge Society 2010 Punk before this game? I believe... All I remember is that they had whatever version had this Fires Burn. I don't think it was. Yeah, I think it was Straight Edge, not bald Punk, but his Straight Edge attire Punk. It was the same entrance motion, by the way. It was the same entrance motion. I wish we got Roman Showcase instead of fucking TKO crap Samoans in. But they make them sell. What can I? At least we got a Punk specific showcase. I get what you're saying, Will. Like I said, it's supposed to be anniversary. So to really understand what we were expecting from 2K24, let's take a history lesson back to 2K24. And thanks to credit to WWE because they actually have all the images. We're gonna go to the history lesson. WrestleMania 1, Andre the Giant and Big John Studd. WrestleMania 2, Hulk Hogan and King Kong Bundy. WrestleMania 3, Hogan and Andre, also the same night. Savage and Ricky for the Intercontinental title. 4 was the tournament between Randy Savage and Ted DiBiase. 5 was the Mega Powers. 6 was the what was the dub? The Ultimate Match or whatever. It was, champion versus champion, unification, Ultimate Warrior, Hogan. 7 was Slaughter and Hogan. 8 was Savage and Flair. 9 was Yokozuna and Bret Hart. 10 was the rematch. Also at 10, Scott Hall and HBK. 11, HBK and Diesel. Same on that same night, Undertaker and King Kong Bundy. 12, yes, Shawn and Bret. Also on that same night, Undertaker and Diesel. 13, Bret and Austin. 14, Undertaker and Kane. 15, Stone Cold and Rock. 16, the Fatal 4-Way, Triple H, Mankind, or Mick Foley, The Rock and Big Show. 17, Rock and Austin. 18, Rock and Hogan. Also on that same night, Triple H and Y2J. 19, Chris Jericho and HBK. Also the same night, The Rock and Stone Cold. 20, Cena and Big Show. Also the same night, I can't believe they still put this match in, Brock and Lesnar. 21, Cena and JBL. 22, Edge and Mick Foley. 23, you had both Cena and Michaels, as well as Batista Undertaker. 24, you had Michaels and Flair, as well as the triple threat, Randy, Triple H, and Cena. 25, you had another triple threat, Cena, Big Show, and Edge, as well as Randy and Triple H. 26, John Cena and Batista, as well as Chris Jericho and Edge, and Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. 3 matches. 27, Edge and Alberto Del Rio, as well as The Miz and John Cena. 28, 3 matches once again, Jericho and Punk, Undertaker and Cena, Triple H and Undertaker with special guest referee Shawn Michaels. Hell in a Cell entered the era, one of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. And 29, the 3 main events, The Rock and John Cena, Undertaker and CM Punk, and Triple H versus Brock Lesnar. So as you can see, they somehow on the Xbox 360 and PS3, I want to keep this in mind, had 46 matches on the Xbox 360 and PS3. 46 matches, all 29 WrestleMania arenas, as well as the extra 31 that they had to make up because it wasn't out. WrestleMania 30 didn't happen yet, but they did all of that. Every single WrestleMania was represented back in 2013. So the expectation was, I can't keep my mouth straight. Hold on. What did I miss? I think I missed a lot here. I remember when Showcase trailer came out, I went to YouTubers Live. They were praising it like I watched. They would be lazy with it. And my expectations was high. My expectations was high as well, Kwame. And 2K is currently updating LA Knight's motion. 2K23, we didn't get Cena versus Randy Triple H's Showcase was because they brought all the guys who defeated Cena 1v1. Yeah, that is true. Why they were updating motions 2K26 based on 2025 motions. I don't know what they're doing with 2K. So when they update the motions, will we keep the OG interested? I guess they're going to be labeled as 1 and 2. The old ones are still going to be in there. Like when they eventually do Obafemi's entrance, they're gonna keep the original one in there. It should bring back October release dates. It's a positive. The release dates don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's just they need to, in terms of DLC, they need to prioritize the current people first and then release whoever the hell you want afterwards in terms of Legends. Last game of Burning Light, by the way. Really? Because Randy, oh yeah, you're right. You're right. For 2K14, because they had Randy Orton 08. This is Randy Orton 08. You're absolutely right. Triple H versus Taker 1 was much better too. I always prefer the Hell in a Cell match. I'm not saying the 1 was better. I'm not saying 1 was bad. They're both great in my opinion. Or unless you're talking about WrestleMania 17. Unless you're talking about WrestleMania 17, I love WrestleMania 17. Undertaker with rolling entrance. If that's what you're referring to, Will, then I'm all for you. No reason to miss these matches except certain ones with Edge and Jericho Flair, which we're going to get to. We're going to get into at the end of the stream. I want to show you there was zero excuse why they couldn't put all 40 WrestleMania arenas in here. I'm going to show you. No, I'm gonna show you. It was completely possible. 2K would put more effort in 2K Showcase. The trash community appreciated the mode more. 2K17 were soulless without one. I know. Triple H is literally top 5. No, again, it was a good match. I just still prefer WrestleMania 28. Now you're gonna get into the 40 years of WrestleMania. Yes, we are. So I had to get through all that. I'm gonna stress on the Xbox 360 and PS3. On the Xbox 360 and PS3, they were able to accomplish 40 matches with 46 matches with 29 WrestleManias. Now, my expectations were low. I was like, okay, I know 2K. They're not going to put all those matches in there. They're not going to give us like 60 matches. All I was expecting was, okay, one match per WrestleMania. So 40 matches total. And maybe a little bit more for WrestleMania 39. That's all I was expecting. That way, we have 40 WrestleMania arenas in there. There's only 10 extra ones that they have to do. All that good stuff. That was my expectations. So you can imagine my surprise. You can imagine my surprise when we got to this game, and this is what they gave us. It was Kurt in TNA in 2013. Yes, he still was. So you can imagine my surprise. This is what we got. So let's see what we got. We got WrestleMania 3, 2 matches. We got WrestleMania 5 with 2 matches. We got WrestleMania 6 with 1 match. We got WrestleMania 8 with 1. We got WrestleMania 10. We got WrestleMania 13. We got 17. We got 17. We went straight to 20. We went to 21. We went to 25. Then we got 30. We got 2 for WrestleMania 31. We got 1 for WrestleMania 35. We got 1 for WrestleMania 36. 1 for 38. And 3 for WrestleMania 39. Keep this in mind. WrestleMania 39 was the one that just came out the previous year in 2023, but they gave us 3 matches for that. And you have a special 2K showcase of the Immortals. So you can clearly see we didn't get the treatment on the Xbox 360 and PS3 that we got on the Xbox Series X and PS5, which I mind you is 2 console generations after the Xbox 360 and PS3. So I want you to keep that in mind as the excuse that I can't imagine 2K would have to have only 17 matches. So like, statistically speaking, 60% of the WrestleManias are completely gone from this game. No need to include WrestleMania. Ali was in the. Oh, I was gonna bring that up. Yes, the audacity of them, by the way, which I let's check that because I could have swore I have them. The audacity in all of this is that, as you mentioned, Muhammad Ali is in this game for WrestleMania 1. So it's like, well, what are we doing? Where is he? No. Right here. He's right here. Mind you, never wrestled in WWE before, but the fact that he's in the game is like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Very loose aggression matches. Couldn't they import 20? That's what I was going to mention that. WrestleMania 22, 34, 28, and 37 are all on the next gen game since 2K made them, since 2K22. There was zero excuse why any of those matches could not have been in there. And what's worse, by the way, to add insult to injury, right? To add insult to injury, the final showcase, which is the Royal Rumble crap, right? Whatever this is. The final part, I wish I could skip the yeah. So the final WrestleMania thing that you do, they actually added more people: Rey Mysterio, Triple H, Batista, AJ Styles, and Drew McIntyre. None of these people have any showcase matches, but they add them in here, which leads to the theory that maybe at some point during development, they were supposed to have WrestleMania matches. And based on the selected arenas that are available, I can deduce the following. Rey Mysterio, at the very least, was probably supposed to have WrestleMania 38 with Dom, with Logan Paul and Miz. They could have done that for him. Or WrestleMania 39 with him and Dom. Triple H is literally Triple H and Randy Orton at WrestleMania 25 is right there. They could have easily done that. They could have done Triple H versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 17. They could have done Triple H and Batista at WrestleMania 35 because he's right here. All those options. The AJ Styles, right off the top of my head, they could have done AJ versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania 35. They could have done AJ versus Undertaker. I know that's asking a lot. The Boneyard match at WrestleMania 36. They could have done that, and by just importing WrestleMania 34 arena the previous year, they could have done AJ versus Shinsuke and Drew McIntyre. Jesus Christ, they could have done Drew McIntyre versus Corbin at WrestleMania 38. They could have done Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley because he was still here for WrestleMania 37. And plus, in addition to that, they could have done. Speaking of that, they could have done AJ and Omos versus the New Day at WrestleMania 37. They could have done Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 36. So you're getting my point here. And Roman versus Drew at WrestleMania 35. They could have done them all. Notice these showcase only focus on the recent matches. I know. With only 17 matches, 60% of WrestleManias are completely absent. 14, 50, 60 is crazy. And it's only, why in the world is Muhammad Ali in this game though? Because I don't know what they were doing. I know, he was only part of WrestleMania 1, and there's no WrestleMania 1 arena. How do you have 40 years of WrestleMania, but you couldn't even bother to put in the first WrestleMania? Are they high? What were they, why in the world, could easily add Bobby Lashley versus Drew 37. Yeah, that's what I said. Oscar versus Charlotte. I completely forgot. I get it. Oscar and Charlotte too. There were so many matches. Triple H versus Batista WrestleMania 21. I forgot. Triple H Batista WrestleMania 21. Forget. I mean, no one would even notice. All Ali's a legend though. No, it's not that. But it's like without even WrestleMania 1, what is the point? So yes, 17 WrestleManias. So which one would you like me to showcase for you guys? I think the only one I really truly like is this one, but there's just so many cutscenes, but it's just in general I like this one. So which one would we like to showcase? Of the 17, I'll take Ali over, for they don't have money to do that, bro. They have money. It's called My Faction in the Island, the amount of money that they have. They could have done, they absolutely could have. They just don't care. Not WrestleMania 19. They could have done WrestleMania 19. There's many options. They could have done Brock, and even before they couldn't foresee the Brock allegations. They could have done Brock and Kurt. They could have done Brock and Kurt, Rock and Austin. They even could have done Vince and Hogan before the allegations. They could have done that. Well, you did mention Hogan 80 should be accurate, so I'm going to click on this one instead, actually. Mustafa, we're going to look at Hogan 80. The clash between the No. So 1 second, I gotta wait until that's done. Batista on check WrestleMania 23, but they didn't add no Batista in 2K. But he's in the listing for the Royal Rumble. Yay, slingshot. I know, I gotta wait. My bad. So at least at the very common, I had to skip. Unfortunately I had to skip it because they did the slingshot technology again to do that epic moment, but I couldn't even showcase it to you guys. It sucks. I can't even really showcase what I really want to showcase. They thought slingshot technology was a smart idea. Take it right to the Andre. It was really ruthless depression. Yeah, they completely, I guess they thought we got all the ruthless aggression content in 2K23 with John Cena, so they just said screw it. Why is Andre getting on top? Okay, that was totally realistic. What's your favorite Roman Reigns fight? Match of all time. I liked his rivalry. His rivalry with AJ was good. His Hell in a Cell match with Bray Wyatt is very underrated. I actually enjoyed it. And actually a sleeper that no one talks about because it was on SmackDown, but I think people should really look at him and Buddy Murphy. The fact that he was able to keep up. I mean, I know Buddy Murphy slowed down, but it's like him and Buddy Murphy is like a sleeper on SmackDown. You guys got to watch that one. I really wish we would get a full WCW showcase mode someday. The funny part is they could absolutely make that happen because they pretty much have everyone outside of Ric Flair under contract with WCW and Sting. But so Dan knows, never mind now. Sting is a huge part, but everyone else they pretty much got. It's just Sting and Flair at the moment is currently the problem. TJ allergic to that era. Yes, look at his mustache. Okay, I could zoom in on it. Can I? Oh, I can't even do a highlight reel. I want to look at it in the creation suite. But I could see his mustache. Yes, you're absolutely right. At least they made him look more accurate. And luckily they did it before he passed. Why do you gotta do rebound? Like, this makes no sense. When did Hogan ever do all of these rebound attacks in the actual match? I don't freaking think so. A boot out the build. Oh yes, Philadelphia, the Royal Rumble 2015. Yes, I Distinctly remember that Roman versus Brock. We'll if I have time, we'll do that as well because you'll be surprised. 4 years WrestleMania was not the only thing that they were touting as a main selling point for this game. We had to go over the 4 new quote unquote match types. But I had no problem going over. Oh, you're talking about best Roman Reigns matches. Roman and Brock 31. My bad. Cool, I knew what you meant. It was it was a brawl in terms of like a match, like bell to bell. It was fine. It just, since the match truly never ended, I don't really think about it that much. I knew what you meant now. I thought you meant, dude, the match is in here, by the way. But I liked the brawl. It felt like Brock taking off his gloves and just wailing on Roman. Felt crazy. I did like that. But since we never truly got an ending to that, obviously because of Seth Rollins, we'll never really know what would have happened. I just sending him to the ropes and hitting 3 rebound attacks. This is so stupid. Did Hogan ever do this? I doubt it, because I'm pretty sure he didn't take him off his feet until like way late in the match. So it's like, what are we doing here? Remember when Roman Reigns, 2K doesn't make realistic. Why do Giants go up top? I know you saw that right with Andre earlier. He's about to do a whole dive. They don't care. Ric Flair, AEW, yes. He's currently still signed to AEW, even though I have no idea when the last time he actually appeared. But yes, he's still signed to AEW. Next game might not have Roman Showcase or AJ Showcase. I don't know what's 2K27 is probably like the most up in the air thing in a recent WWE game. I have no idea what direction they could go. I don't know what they could do. Maybe they could do Ruthless Aggression Showcase. They won't, because, you know, he who shall not be named is very vital to that. So they're never going to do it. I don't know what they're going to do, though. I guess if anything, that makes it more unpredictable. I don't know who the cover star is going to be. Why do I got to take him in the corner? Like, why? Why'd I take him to the corner? Like, none of this actually happened in real life. I hope you guys are aware of this. But they're making you do it. It's like, for God's sakes, this is just a chore. You like their SummerSlam match in 2023? Are you referring to, I think you mean 2022 with Roman and Brock? Yes, that was excellent. And I feel like that was a definitive, I think that was their last match anyway, now that I think about it. In terms of one-on-one. Knock him to the mat with a running attack while you're in the ring. Okay. I think it was the fact that they lifted the ring with that tractor was absolutely incredible. I've never seen anything like that. It was good. And the ending made sense. They needed, Roman had to do everything to make sure Brock could stay down. He had the Usos, stop the table, they kept everything on to make him stay down. The ending made perfect sense. That was the only way they were going to do it. And unfortunately, he's about to go to slingshot. So again, they put in effort, but then, cool. They could have just kept it the whole time. Like, why would they go, like, why? It makes no sense. Shawn Michaels Undertaker needs a cover. Shawn hasn't been on. Honestly, the run Shawn have with NXT, actually, you know what? They could do a Shawn showcase. I'm trying to think, honest to God, outside, but no, they can't really do a showcase. Because you have to have Shawn and Flair. Unless they somehow, I mean, they could. They have Billy Gunn in there. Unless they pull out, I think they need, if they don't, see, they have to have that match in the showcase. They can't just ignore that match. So it's like, if they don't have that, then they can't do a Shawn. I mean, you're cooking right there. I didn't think of that, young schooler. I actually not think it's Shawn. They could, but they 100% need Flair. But so if they don't have him, it's not gonna work. What's the point? Why? What is the point? And he blocked it. They also need Jericho for this. You're right, for WrestleMania 19. But like I said, nothing's impossible now with Billy Gunn. So that's why I said it's not out of the realm of possibility. But they gotta really The fact that Billy Gunn is still in 2K26, I can understand 25 was like a one-off. That would have been one thing. But the fact that he's in 2K26, that's something. Or brutal to watch. So 14, yes, it was back. It was so funny because Vince, what a difference a year makes, right? What a difference a year makes. People were cheering for Roman, not because Vince, unfortunately, he didn't see the forest from the trees. He didn't understand why they were cheering for Roman over Batista. They just didn't want Batista. That was the point. They just didn't want Batista. They weren't cheering for Roman because they actually wanted Roman. They didn't want anyone but Batista. So Vince read that as, oh, they want Roman. Nope. That's not what happened. Said, I don't care about being 2K. I can't get money from him. So then he's probably not going to be in it. Then people really said Shawn first one was better than his second. I mean, I personally prefer his, because obviously I grew up with his second run. I feel like his second run, yeah, those banger of a matches, like him and Cena for an hour in the UK on a random Monday Night Raw. He has been on TV since 2 years, but he's still under contract. This is what I mean. So if you understand I see, so do you understand why? Oh, goddamn, I hit X. So they're going to play a cutscene. 1 second. I got to skip it. Yep. They're playing a cutscene. I didn't mean that. But do you see the philosophy difference between why people think certain people should be under contract? Because the other company is doing it. They keep them in there for 2 years. They don't do nothing with them. It's like TKO is in the business of making a profit, not just doing charity work, people. Like, I don't think you guys understand that part. They're in the business of making a profit. Do I agree with it? I mean, it's not my company, but it's like they're in the business of making a profit. So you're a fan of, oh, absolutely. One of my favorite Iron Man matches. Again, it's so funny how the Ruthless Aggression era, most of the best matches happened on the TV show. Chris Benoit versus Triple H is a huge sleeper of an Iron Man match. I don't know why not a lot of people. Oh, actually, I answered my own question. I was like, man, why don't no one talk about that Raw Iron Man match? And I answered my own question. Oh, that's why. That's why. I already said the person's name. You're a fan. Did you like the casket matches for this game? We're actually you see, Michael, you're on point. I feel like you read my script. So to take a quick detour. Despite the 40 years WrestleMania is a complete bust. However, that wasn't the only thing that they touted. We got brand new match types, people. I'm going to read exactly what it says, and I'm going to go into the semantics and nuances of why this is all wrong. From guest referee to casket, gauntlet, and ambulance matches, there are a bevy of new match types to experience in WWE 2K24, including support for multiple superstars and backstage brawl. Okay. I mean, that is great, but okay. So let's get into the nuances of this. So there's 4 quote-unquote brand new match types: the special guest referee, the casket, the ambulance, and the gauntlet. So let's go through history. Yes, 2K24 has special guest referee. However, it was in 2K14 with Triple H as an image. It was in the game last in 2K14. They took it out for whatever reason. It was in the game, mind you. So it's like I don't know what they're talking about there. So that's not a new match type. It was in there since 2K4. It was last in there 2K14. The casket match. Now, this is where nuances and semantics come into apply. The last time we had a casket match was in SmackDown 2, technically. However, the almost the same equivalent of that is a Buried Alive match, which was in SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. I know that's a picture of SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. I needed to get something before this stream. I had 24 hours from yesterday to today, folks, so cut me some slack. But the last time I was in there was SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. So this is not, once again, a new match type. You see the casket right there? That is not new. Ambulance match. Now, I'm actually going to give them credit. Now, I could be petty and say, well, technically, adjust my glasses meme, it was actually in SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 on Nintendo DS. However, Ukes did not make that game, so I'm going to give them a pass. Yeah, so ambulance match is the one new match type that they have currently. And then the gauntlet match. Yes, the gauntlet match has never been in a any wrestling game officially. We've had variations of it called the Slobber Knocker, the closest thing to it, but we never truly had a actual one-to-one gauntlet match in a game before, except for this one. So out of the 4 brand new match types, only 2 of them are actually new, which is ambulance and gauntlet. Special guest referee and the casket match, they're not new. And what makes it worse, the special guest referee, you can only do it in a regular one-on-one match. You can't do it in any other match type. So when you bring him back, you don't even do it the right way. I will give them credit. All three other match types, they pretty much did the best they could. Gauntlet match, they went above and beyond, which I'm going to show a little bit. But the special guest referee, it's like only one-on-one. You can't make this shit up. They can't do anything right. On their first try, they can't do anything right. Backlash, you said, was the first pay-per-view I watched at WWE. If I remember correctly, that should be the Fatal 2007. 2007 should be... Jesus, what happened in 2007? Oh, Shawn Edge, Randy, and Cena for the WWE title, and Undertaker and Batista for the World Heavyweight title. That was SummerSlam. That was Backlash 2007. There you go. I got it. I like Battle Royal matches. I like those matches too. In general, yeah. Brock versus Kurt, Iron Man match. Again, you see, Kwame, what I'm trying to say? Their best matches were on regular... Ruthless Aggression's best matches were on regular TV. Like, pay-per-views were great too, but it's like, Jesus Christ. That's false advertising. Oh, I know it's false advertising, but who's going to call them out for it? It's just... This is what I mean. This is 2K's MO. Their selling points are just reselling you stuff that was already in the previous game, but they expect you to forget about it like you were born yet. I don't like to be treated like an idiot. That's the thing with 2K. I could pass a lot of stuff, but I don't like my intelligence being tested. I'm not stupid. I'm playing these games all my life. I know what's in these games. So with that said, which match type would you guys want to look at first? Gauntlet match was in WWE 13. Technically it was, technically it wasn't. Like I said, it wasn't a true variation of it. So the gauntlet you're referring to is that you're on one side, you have to face three people. What a true gauntlet match is the switching of whoever wins or loses, the next person comes out. I know what you're saying, Mustafa, but it wasn't technically accurate. Like I said, it's what you're referring to is this. I believe it's the Gauntlet Eliminator. No, it's either Gauntlet Eliminator or Gauntlet Turmoil. One versus this is what you're actually referring to. They had this variation in it, not the actual, regular opponents face each other one-on-one until one remains. No, that's what they didn't have. You could do submission match if you go to match options. You can do a submission match if you go to match options or something. In terms of what? Oh, it was in 2K17 Xbox 360 version. Oh, you talking about special guest referee, Mustafa? I never played those versions. One day we have to play those versions. So for the sake of this, we're actually going to do one of the newest matches. We're going to do the ambulance match, since that is technically the real new one. That's never been a game before. Where is it? There we go. Who are we going to put in the ambulance? I was going to do Damian Priest and Alice of Alzer's in this game. Damn it. God damn it, 2K. I know he's in 2K25, but god damn it. It's not even 2K's fault. It's WWE. So Damian, who's been in an ambulance match recently? I know Damian Priest. Jesus Christ, who's been in an ambulance match recently? Andre Chase? No, that ain't fair. I know John Cena's been in. No, Drew McIntyre. He fought Randy Orton. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. I had to think about it for a second. I was like, God damn it, who is it? Please show Cody. They should have 2K25 model here. Okay, I'll show him for the casket match. My bad. I just read it. My apologies. I'll show him in the casket match. But you a fan? Yes, I wanted to come back. It makes no sense, Kwame. This is what I mean, where their priorities are so messed up. They can have such good graces, like they could earn such good graces and fate back into the community by doing stuff like that. Add that championship scramble. But here's the thing. Don't even advertise the match. Just add it in there. Just add the match back in there. It's so simple. They already have 5-way matches in here. The whole people coming out in quantities or whatever, they have that established with the Gauntlet Eliminator. They can do it. They just don't want to. Drew is 81. How? This game is weird. What can I say? The crazy part is I don't know what to tell you. This game is weird. But yes, they need to bring it back. Remember when people thought Brian Kendrick was going to be WWE champion? They need to bring that match back. Yes, I remember the Unforgiven pay-per-view. He was WWE champion for like a minute, or barely not even a minute. I think someone got the pin right after that, but that was the joke. Drew, but yeah, I definitely remember that. And then the ambulance come out. Like the presentation of this match is solid. I'm gonna give them for their first time doing it, which is so crazy. So the first time they do a gauntlet eliminator, a gauntlet match and the ambulance match, they do it 100% presentation wise correctly. But special guest referee, they only were able to do it with one-on-one matches. Make it make sense, 2K. Make it make sense. The answer is they can't. They cannot. Like, it's perfect. It's like, for what you could do with the ambulance as well, it's not bad. Just like they brought back Inferno. I know, and they didn't have... I wish I could talk about it, but it's in 2K26. But yes, the Inferno match in 2K26, they did not half-ass. Like I said, when they actually want to try, it looks great. They didn't even half-ass that match. They went above and beyond. Like the gauntlet, adding 3 different types of gauntlet matches in the one match, like that's above and beyond, and no one expected that. Like, so that's why just bring back the championship scramble, especially now with that y'all have the match podium too, the championship podium. There's zero excuse why they can't add back the championship scramble outside of just either no one in that development team even know what that match is, which tells you all you need to know. But I believe Brian Williams knows what that match is, or they need to somehow sell it for the next game. I hope it's in the next game, because if their logic is, well, it's not in the current matches, so why did you add Inferno match back in the match? See what I mean? They can't use that excuse, so they should know what it is. But why do this special referee need entrances? I liked how they tried to give them entrance. I mean, I have no problem with them giving them entrances. Oh, yeah. Why do this special referee need entrance? I have no problem with them doing entrances and make the match more important for it being special guest referee. So I'm fine with that, Alex. Do you like Drew McIntyre's? I've always loved Drew McIntyre's old song. So fun fact, with SmackDown versus Raw 2011, I will always remember this. I was in a Armageddon Hell in a Cell match online, and I told my brother I was like, watch every single person in this match but me have Drew McIntyre's song. And sure enough, every single person in that match had Drew McIntyre's song except me. His song is goated. They need to bring it back. They only played it like one time at Clash at the Castle. They need to actually bring it back. So yeah, I agree. They definitely need to bring that one back. I love this song. The thing is, I liked his NXT rendition of his current song. I forgot what his current song is called, but I actually liked his NXT rendition of it. I wish they would bring that back. Oh, hi, Jennifer. I believe this is your first time here, so you're probably wondering why we're playing 2K24 in the year 2026. This was a 25-day event series where we went through the history of the main WWE games. See how we got 2K26? Tomorrow is the finale, so, of this whole event. So if you're interested in seeing 2K25 tomorrow, that's what's going to be happening. Did Drew model get updated in 2K25? It got updated in 26, I believe. At least his entrance got updated in 26. He's had that sword entrance forever. They finally updated in 26. This is my first. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's what we're doing. This game ever had broken dreams? I believe his persona came in 25. So his Drew McIntyre persona came in 25, I believe. Yeah, so yeah, see, young school, yep, there you go. Because of his persona. Yeah, you already saw, I'm reading the chat late, my bad. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Do you think Randy will ever bring back Burn in My Light? I think he hates that song. I think he actually hates that song. I know he hated This Fire Burns, which was supposed to be his original song, and they gave the Punk. Oh, you can't even throw him off? Wow, that sucks. I thought you could. Hold up, wait a minute. Full stop. Trying to say I can't throw him off? I believe I'm about to say I can throw him off. I guess with the ragdoll physics in 26 allows you to do it. Okay, whatever. South of Heaven. All right, Drew, you're going in. Hopefully. Like I said, I like the presentation of this. In my opinion, I think it works great. God damn it. There's no way he's going to throw me in. No. Oh, yes, he is. He threw me right in there. God damn it. Nope. He threw me right in there. At what time? So we started at 8. So tomorrow's also going to be at 8 p.m., Jennifer. Just to let you know. They need licenses for that song. Which song? Burning My Light? Yeah, because that's made from Red. Those one of the few songs wasn't made by Jim Johnson. You're right. You're absolutely right. They do need it. But isn't Rev Theory also made? Correct me if I'm wrong. Both Randy Orton songs are made by the same band, right? So why can't they? Well, wait, no. Who made? No, Rev Theory made Voices. Did they make Burning My Light? I don't know. He hates it. We love it. I know. I think Randy legitimately hates Burning My Light, but it's such a good song. He's gonna retire next 2 years, which is crazy. I think he does need to win the world title one more time. Don't be like AJ's like, all right, I don't care. I think Randy needs it. I personally think Randy, he doesn't deserve, I mean, or he earned it, but I feel like they should at least give him that. Like how they gave John Cena the Grand Slam or whatnot. I feel like they should at least give Randy Orton one more title. One more title. I hate how they change reversals and circle matching and powerlifting changes from this game. That's why I said I have no issue with the current reversing system with the purple meter, because people, in my personal opinion, I know people hate it, but for a simulation aspect of the game, that purple thing is needed. Now I can do away with the stun meter. I've never cared about the stun meter, but in terms of this, I've had no issue with it. Come on, Drew. Today you die. That's one. I feel like what I would wish they would do updated wise is I'm not gonna do it. I wish they would do updated wise. Triple H never won US title, and he never will. I know Triple H could have been a Grand Slam. Did he make the original Grand Slam though? That's a good question. Kwame. What's up, Bean on Toast? I don't know if you mentioned this earlier in the stream, but I did that. Wrestling IG. It's almost as if you knew I was going to do this stream. Right after this in the casket match, we were going to go over the cut content. Yes, I saw that your video is actually embedded in the Wikipedia. Now I was going to say, man, I wish he was here to see this so I can show you guys. I was going to shout you out, Wrestling IG. I'm glad that you're here. So you guys don't know, Wrestling IG is the one who made that video that I don't know if you've seen on YouTube about the vanilla version of 2K24. And he talks about it. And it's so funny that you're here. I don't know if that's coincidence or not. We were going to get into that. I think right after we were going to do the casket match. But thanks for stopping by, Wrestling IG. I was like, yeah, if it wasn't for him showcasing the stuff like playable Brock and Vince, people will tend to probably forget that. Now I was gonna shout you out, Wrestling IG. I'm just, if those don't know who did it. But yeah, Triple H. Why? I mean, ever since he got to the main event scene, he was never gonna win back a mid card title. What game did they change the bleeding? I feel like they bleed way too easily in Yellow Hell. I think it was 2K25 where they just smear their face everywhere. It's 2K25 where like the bleeding is just all over the place. It's 2K25. Well, I guess we'll look at tomorrow. I think that's when it started. This will be one big video or exclusive. Oh, so we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. I see what you're saying. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow, Beyonce. But the short answer, no. These live streams are just gonna be a playlist where people could just go back to. And man, Drew McIntyre's not giving up, is he? I have this on normal difficulty, by the way. Which again, I like the difficulty of that aspect. Then I have this on normal difficulty. God damn it, he reversed it. There we go. Do one more south. I wish I could do the south of heaven off the goddamn ambulance, but we don't have physics yet. Unfortunately. Title probably SummerSlam as a rematch, but it seems like they're going with Cody and Gunther now. So, I don't know how Randy's gonna get. Maybe they could do a triple threat at SummerSlam. Why not? I don't see any direction Or I think because it's quite clear next year's WrestleMania or maybe SummerSlam, it's Punk and Cody. They wanted to do that this year anyway, but Seth's injury fucked everything up. So they're gonna do Seth. I think they really want to do. God damn it, Drew, get in there, just die, Drew, die. Are you serious right now? Oh my God, are you serious? The only good thing about 2K25 is DLC, so we got Victoria Hurricane. I do feel like those are kind of weak. We're gonna talk about 2K25 DLC. They had some very questionable stuff. They either people who shouldn't have been DLC to begin with. They should have been the goddamn base game based on timing. Well, we're gonna get into it tomorrow. This was just a coincidence. Didn't know you were streaming it, so now no, it's all good. It's just I just find it funny. I was like, yeah, we're gonna mention that. We weren't gonna look at the video, but I was gonna like link. I was gonna show them like Wrestling IG made this video, but I just find it hilarious that you came in here and mentioned it. Just perfect timing, though. I appreciate it. How have you been, though? Wrestling IG. Drew McIntyre, can you die, please? You're getting annoying. This should do it. If this does not do it, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with Drew. I wish, though, I don't know if it's in 2K26. I haven't played it. It's a new submission system with the ambulance and casket. I like I like that play style with the triggers and whatnot. Using the triggers and do that, I feel like that would be way more better. Okay, come on. Come on, Drew. Let's get in there. There we go. God damn it. 16K, but have footage for Nello Build 2K. I want to get started soon. I have time to. Well, just get on it, man. Honestly, whenever you feel like it, but I'll be looking forward to it. And yes, but like I said, presentation-wise, for their first try of the ambulance, I think it's actually a great, I think it was great. But since, again, Wrestling IG is here, like, I was going to do it right after the casket match, but why not? Back to this. At least I thought. 1 second. Okay, all right. So we did the showcase. So yes, the cut content of 2K24. The bugs, unplayable character, but then the one vanilla version. I clicked on it. I was like, it put a smile on my face because they actually embedded your video in it, Wrestling IG. I was like, oh man, that's so cool. So again, we're not really gonna look at it all. I don't want you to content ID Wrestling IG. I just wanted to point out what you showed. Like the main thing was went over to history. Like for example, there's different renders. Like you saw Rhea Ripley, she's actually under my faction, but they have her under play. It's actually, I think it's Cody and someone else right here. So they changed a little bit of the stuff. Again, the images of these are all low quality. Brock is fully play. Brock and Vince are fully playable here in this version. And yeah, the renders are kind of low quality as well. And some of them don't even have, they're using their in-game renders instead of their portraits. Yeah, see, so Brock 03. Yeah, I believe you mentioned there was no commentary. These pictures were like enlarged. This darkened, so that's actually an interesting fact. The darkened WrestleMania 36 arena doesn't even exist. That's very strange. Yeah, so Vince and Brock. So if you somehow get a hold of the, I don't know how that works on PC, how you can downgrade it to version 1.0. I know you could do it on the Xbox, but it just, yeah. If you somehow get the vanilla, if you truly want to play as Brock Lesnar or Vince McMahon in 2K24, although I don't even really recommend just playing 2K24 in general, but if for some reason you want to, at least I guess this would be the final time Vince is in the game. If you have the Xbox Series X, you can downgrade it to the vanilla build of this. So you can play as Brock. And I don't know, I'm on PC. I don't know how to do that. But yeah, like I said, shout out to Wrestling IG. I was going to point it out too. It's just funny that you made it here, which is very interesting. Do you like any my ride storyline? Speaking of which, we're gonna go over universe mode, my GM, and my rides as well. I guess we might as well get that started. We went to Community Craze, download them. That is true, and I think that's how I got Brock 14 as a play. I think I made a short on that. I'm like 9% sure I made a short on that. I made so many shorts. I think I did make a short on that. We went to this is my 8th favorite WWE game. Oh really? Tell me your top 5. See, I think you did before, but can you remind me what your top 5 was? Crazy fun fact about this game: Brock was playable in the final showcase match too. 2K quickly patched it. He was playable in the final. Yeah, you're talking about the Royal Rumble match. Yes, he was. The vanilla version. Like I said, it makes no. It just why? Just why? Just to put him back in as DLC that we have to pay for the very next year. It's like, Jesus Christ. I can understand Vince because he's actually getting sued, but Brock is like, for God's sakes, you made us pay for someone who was already on the roster the previous year. Like, come on. They should bring back halftime heat. They really should. They really should. I mean, they could bring back the NXT version, but just for funsies. But they're not gonna because 2K doesn't like fun. Oh, so I guess we should talk about my faction. Whoops, can't do that because lo and behold, the servers are gone. Because the funny part is these servers went down like 3 months ago, so it's like, imagine spending money again. This is what I mean, where it's like, I need to have a conversation with these guys. Imagine spending money on a mode where within not even 2 years, barely, you can't even access it anymore. Your card collection. I know they got the persona, but that's not the point. It's like a whole game mode. Personas aren't even on. I know, it's like a whole game mode. You can't even access. No, what annoys me, because now I have this. No, see, it's not like I'm a completionist or anything, but what annoys me, and because of this stupid shit, look at my roster. I have a bunch of question marks I'm never gonna be able to access because I was gonna waste my life away going into my faction. So all those question marks, especially CM Punk, at least in this game, I'm never gonna get him because now they're locked. It's like, why? I mean, I'm on PC. Maybe I can mod it in. I can obviously just mod it in, but I know they're in the files of this game if I really wanted to just mod it. But I don't feel like doing that to begin with because I don't feel like paying for PC parts. I mean, PC modding. I'm completely against that. Are even unlocked? I can't lie. I have a ball with my faction. My luck was it. My issue with my faction, I don't have an issue inherently with the card game aspect itself. I wish it was in another game. It's just 2K puts too much focus on it. And in terms of the personas themselves, my biggest gripe with it is just let me pay for it. I don't want to. I have to spend money just to roll, just to hopefully get the card. How come I can't just spend money just to buy the card? I know they are sometimes in the card mark, but not all of them. It's like, if I'm going to have to play it, can I just spend money just to get the goddamn card? I don't want to spend money just to roll, just hopefully get the goddamn card. And I know these, I'm basically trying to argue something that's been in practice since Candy Crush, but it's like, I don't want to waste my life away with this mode. If I really want the attire, like Drew McIntyre's freaking music would have been great to use in here, but nope, can't do that. I know it's in 2K25 though, but it's like stuff like that. What status hooked this? And I believe this was the game he got banned in, by the way. I believe it was this game. The lead up to this game, he got banned in the backlash. Yeah, and then the backlash, they reinstated his account. I was able to watch it fully. Yes, Asuka and Io. I was gonna give match of the night to Braun and Seth, despite the botches. I thought their match was great, but watching Asuka and Io, that was hands down match of the night. Roman and 5-2 was fine. Obviously shenanigans and whatnot, but the match itself was fine. I feel like someone explained it best. This match needed at least a 3-month build instead of a 3-week build. It would have been that much better. They could have had the same match, but just in retrospect, they should have had like a 3-month build instead of 3 weeks. But Asuka and Io, they stole the goddamn show. The rewards in the next game for sure. Oh yeah, because they just want you to waste your time and spend money. With spend so much money, you can get at least amount possible. So quickly going over universe mode. Don't worry guys, it'll be quick. There's not. Do you want to? So remember we talked about the last game where they completely ruined it by making you basically do the forefronting of doing the rivalry cutscenes. Can you take a wild guess of what they deemed new features in universe mode? Can anyone know? Does anyone know what they thought was advertised as new for universe mode? You're probably not gonna get the answer to that. Gunther wins the title off Cody at Classic Castles. Randy will screw Cody in SummerSlam. I can see it if they're gonna go for Punk and Cody next year at WrestleMania. I could definitely see it. In Saudi Arabia, all places, that's gonna be that is a sight to see. Two former AEW superstars fighting for the WWE title in Saudi Arabia. That's gonna be a sight to see. First 2K14, then 08, then 17, 15 because of showcases, and then 13. Yes, like I said, 15. Funny enough, first 2K's first attempt arguably had their best renditions of showcase. 15 and 16. Was it because he made female wrestlers playable against male wrestlers? Was it because he made female? What are you referring to? I know that's the next game, Beans on Toast. Quickly passed it. Are you talking about Brock? That's why they passed it. Was that a joke? Then he botched the finish. Are you talking about Seth and Braun? I didn't think he botched that finish. He botched some of the moves, but the actual finish of Braun and Seth, I don't think was botched. I got platinum for this game. Lord help me. I had too much fun. Again, the gameplay is not bad. The gameplay is not bad. The issue is the actual stuff surrounding it issue. What do you think? Who do you think will dethrone Roman? Probably Oba. If I had to put my money on it, especially now since Gunther moved to SmackDown. I was gonna originally say Gunther, honest to God, but since he moved to SmackDown, oh, it's 100% Oba. They're probably. I wouldn't be shocked if they pull the trigger at SummerSlam, but that's probably WrestleMania. Poppy droopy ball fart. What's up, in man? I don't know what that means. Status. Oh, because he made. Yes, you're absolutely. Oh, that's for that reason. Yes, they banned him. Well, no, there was two reasons why they banned him. They banned him because of that, but then also again he was essentially putting out the content that was behind the paywall of my faction. This was leading up to. Keep in mind, I'm not referring to 2K24, 2K23. Asuka, remember Asuka, her new face paint? That was in my faction, but he uploaded her on Community Creations. That was the first one. They just didn't get him that time. It was a build up to it. But yes, part of it was the male and female, which is hilarious because the very next game they put it intergender wrestling. But yes. So in terms of universe mode, I wish I could tell you what they added was new. But I shit you not, this is what they advertised. I wish I was making this up. Basically, what was new in universe mode? Are you guys ready? Watch this. You can now play the brand new match types in here. So the Gauntlet, the Ambulance, special guest referee. So the Gauntlets, the special guest referee, Casket Ambulance. Those are the new match types. All right, get ready. The second thing, you can finally do double title matches. That's it. That's it. That's literally it. That's what they deemed was new content for universe mode. So literally, if you played 2K23, going to 2K24, there's literally nothing different. That's literally it. I wish I could show you anything that was new for universe mode. That was literally it. The 4 new match types, and you can finally do double title matches, organically. Like you don't have to do some retroactive stuff. Like it's natively you can do it. That's it. The issues with 22 to 24 is that they're too similar to each other. Again, I have no issue with 22 because the first one, that's always a novelty thing. But as I said, you weren't here the other streams. Play 2K22 and skip straight to the current game, 2K26, because you're not missing nothing. There's no innovation. Like there's no, the thing with the previous games, they were all self-contained, as in you get a completely different experience with every game. The experience you're going to get in SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, regardless of how many people like it or not, is a completely different experience than SmackDown vs. Raw 2009, 10, 11, etc. Even backwards. That's my point. There's no differences between 22 to 26. Just play 22 for the novelty aspect and then skip. And My Rise. The My Rise 2K22 is actually pretty solid. How they formatted it, it sucks that there's no ending. And then skip straight to 2K26. Yeah, Energy match promos, 2 night PLEs in universe, expanded my G mode, online was fixed, and the island. Yeah, I mean, it was from 2K. We're gonna talk about 2K25 tomorrow, but even still, for people who are coming into this game the first time around, just skip straight to 2K26. Because that's the point. Everything are in the previous games are in the, like. There's no reason to play these games except for play the current one. Like that's basically what it is. There's always a reason to go back and play Here Comes the Pain because you're getting a completely different experience and Shut Your Mouth and SmackDown versus Raw, and then vice versa. Though there's no replay value outside of the first year of the game. I'm only going through these games for the sake of this event. I would never touch these games outside of probably this event or special events in these live streams. But I have no problem on my day off popping in Here Comes the Plane and Here Comes the Pain and just playing without any YouTube related stuff. That's what I mean, where it's like there's replay value to those games. There's no replay value to these games outside of this event that I'm doing. Honest to God. In terms of 2K22 to 26 right now. There's also archive area to brawl in. Yeah, that's like I said, 2K25 definitely a step up. I've said, yeah, so you weren't here in the other streams. I basically said skip in terms of this event, 2K22. There's basically no reason to play 23 or 24. Play 25 because of Showcase and My Rise, and then 26. I was gonna recommend 25 during the stream tomorrow. Wrestling IG nowadays, trouble is half the wrestlers are leaving or getting fired released. But that doesn't even really matter because Billy Gunn's a perfect example of, in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't really matter. If they really want you to be in the game, they could. So my GM, speaking of my GM, let's see if there's, I believe there's something slightly new in this one. For the sake of this, we're gonna pick Eric Bischoff because they added ECW. Yeah, he's gonna be in charge of ECW. I believe they added Theater Long, so we did all this good stuff. What's new in this mode? I believe it's the I think it's something to do with the contracts. I believe it's something to do with the contracts. I'm not 100% sure. Did Carmella retire from? She got released, unfortunately. But based on her tweets, maybe she might come back. I mean, why not bring her back? She was a draw. Carmella was 100% a draw. Just she got pregnant, and then they feel like they didn't need her anymore. And I like Carmella too. Carmella was great. Yes, Ronda Rousey on East. I had to really pick everyone. Jesus Christ! Why can't we just? Come on, this is gonna take a minute. Yeah, but she did unfortunately retire. I believe, was this a game that had online or still not online yet for 2K20 for my GM? Is that really the only difference? Unless this one had online. I'm really trying to think about it. What did they add new to this mode? I believe there's like a superstar goal or something. That's the only thing I remember specifically for my GM. Unless this was the one that added online, or did 2K25 added online? Or please don't tell me it was 2K26. That'd be hilarious if it was 2K26. I found it so weird that this is Ronda's last game, but they chose to downgrade her model to 2019 and not keep her current model as well. Well, because that is funny. It is funny that you mentioned that too, because the timing of this game, you would think that, which makes me believe, again, they were obviously making Ronda's match in the showcase regardless. But remember, I guess she left on bad terms with the company. So I was like, well, we already have her in the showcase, so it is what it is. So I guess that was their rationale. And they said, we're going to take her out, but we're going to at least keep her in the showcase because it is what it is. So let's see. I don't really... if GTA 6 comes out this year, we'll be dead. I mean, a lot of games are not going to be being played because of GTA 6. Literally the same women's divisions are unavailable for East End. Well, that's racist. I mean, I said that's racist. Well, that's sexist. That's racist. Wrong. Wrong. What's the word? Wrong. What is the term people use? I don't even remember off the top of my head. I'm tired. Wrong. Discriminatory thing that I used. That the ECW World Champion Shinsuke. So at least they updated this so you can add the televisions or men's or whatnot. Well, how come they don't have the ECW women? Because they don't have a title? That's weird. I don't understand that. Tag requires 2 different people. Congratulations, Angel and Cody. Cody and Angel. Oh, why? Okay, cool. I'm just trying to see what's new here. What's actually new in this mode? I remember Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Ronda Rousey match at WrestleMania. Well, yeah, it's in this mode, and as you mentioned, thanks for Wrestling IG mentioning it. This is actually her last game. I forgot about that. So I think the only thing that I think is new in this particular game from my GM is the season challenges, which I think is just a Hall of Fame thing. There's a journal, and there's something to do with, like I said, all this is the same shit. They just slightly changed the UI of it, but all of this is the same shit. The talent scouts, this is what's different. So yeah, this is, I don't know if this is good or bad. I haven't played it, but this is essentially the talent scout thing. This looks like it sucks. Where's the rest of the talent pool? Where's the rest of the talent pool? Oh, this sucks. Why I can't sign any legends? Huh. The power cards are basically the same, and then the career thing, again, the Hall of Fame trophy, and then the season history. So literally, the talent scout is the new thing. Huh. Need to change the rookie. Needs to change the rookie's tab. Oh, is that what it is? Rookie established. Okay, I see. That's what I was about to. So they basically, okay. That's what I was about to say. I see what they did. Okay. I love how Drew McIntyre is considered a legend. That's funny. Gotcha. Off topic. But what do you think is going to happen when 2K26 shuts down in 2 years? All the legends in the ringside pass. So from what I understand, it's basically like from what I understand, do not quote me on this. I actually, unlike some people, I read the terms of conditions specifically for that reason. From what I gather, it's essentially, it is DL, like that particular part is DLC. As long as you have it, so basically you have to unlock everything before it shuts down, but you don't lose it, if that makes sense. So essentially, you better unlock it all. And then the free tier, I think in terms of the free tier, from what I've read correctly, the free tier stuff is you can get if you do it, but then it's like, as long as you are online, as long as you are connected to from what I understand, as long as you have an online server, regardless if the servers go down, that's not affected. From what I understand. As long as you have an online connection, that's the thing they still need. Even though the servers are down, as long as there's a physical online connection, you should be able to unlock the RXP for it. From what I believe is the case. Like my faction stuff is cooked, but in terms of, I guess it's irrelevant because as long as they put, because once they get the ringside pad, I think those files are in there, so you can unlock it. In terms of the free, I believe. Again, don't quote me on it. I believe that's what it is. Unlike my faction, the island, you're cooked in the community creations. The ringside pass, as long as you have an internet connection, I believe you can still grind for RXP. I might have to look more into it, but I think that's what it is. If not, then I feel bad for you. Because the difference is you paid for that. So you see, that's the key difference. Unlike the island and my faction, you didn't pay for our front. You paid for the ringside pass. So I think you still have access to it as long as you have an internet connection, regardless if it shuts. I think that's tied to a completely different system. And hopefully what I'm saying is making sense. Because you actually paid for it, they can't take that away from you. I think it's just as long as you're connected to an online system, the RXP should still go. But in terms of like, the island and my faction and all that good stuff, yeah, be illegal if they weren't able. No, that's what I'm saying. I think that's the only, I guess we'll truly see in 2 years, but I think that's not tied to the actual servers. That's what I'm trying to say. Because you physically paid for that up front, you technically bought the product. So like, just because you didn't unlock, it's kind of like 2K. So look at it like this. It's like this is the best way I can describe it. Like 2K20, right? Remember those stupid 2K originals where the 2K originals where you unlocked all those characters. You don't unlock them up front. You have to basically do a tower real quick and then you unlock it. It's essentially that same situation with the ringside pass. From what I understood, from what I read in the terms of service, since you paid for it, the jargon of it is when the server shut down, that is still available, but you still have to have an online server. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, we'll find out in 2 years, but I believe it's not the same situation as community creations and my faction, the island, where you're basically cooked. I played my GM for the trophy and basically simulated most of it. Is it fun? I mean, is my GM fun? Would you recommend it? I have not touched it since 2K22 because I don't really care. I really don't care. It's not like SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Once I realized it wasn't like that, for what I understand from where it is now to what it was in 2K22, young schooler, I think it's better than what it was from 2K22. But will I have the same fun experience like SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 and 8? If that's not the case, then I don't care. So in terms of the My Rise, Undisputed and Undisputed and the Unleashed. So this is the women's, this is the men's. For this demonstration, we're going to showcase the men's. Again, in terms of stories, this is all over the place. Honest to God, this is all over the place. I like this one because it's pretty much straightforward. I'm everything makes sense. This is just all over the place to me. I could not care at all about this one. This one, there's a structured story to it. It's not that I didn't understand the story. I understood the story, but it's like they were making you do ridiculous stuff. Like you become a. It was again. My issue with this one, I feel like whoever wrote this one understood everything about the wrestlers and whatever, but then this one, they have no idea what wrestling is. It's like two people. It's like two different people writing this. They understood what it is with this one, but I don't know what they were. I think they have an idea what the indies are like or whatnot, like their imaginary land of what they think the indies are and how it is. Compared to this one, like they actually understood what they were doing. I rate it 4 out of 10. Very subjective. You talking about my GM? Then yeah, if it's not like 2007 or whatever, then yeah. Did they at least? I believe 2K26 they took out the class thing where now you can actually book people how you want them to with the match rating. It's not you're not gonna be hindered by the bruisers, high flyers. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was that 2K26 or 5? They finally corrected that. I had most fun with Universal Mode in 25. Don't know why that isn't the case with 26. My Rise was pretty mid this year. No, yeah. I think 2K25 was the best My Rise they ever put in there. I feel like they should just take it out completely and just, I don't care. Do something better. How about you focus on Superstar Mode and make it like the Here Comes the Pain season mode? I know that's a hot take. That would be nice. But for this demonstration, we're going to focus on the Undisputed. And right off the bat, again, the presentation of this is great. And then this question, like they actually put in effort. Like this is cool. Like this is cool. Because it starts off in an interesting spot.
Less than a week before defending the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes in a brand versus brand main event at SummerSlam.
Oh, shot Roman Reigns. I know it really. I know it's not only that. Yeah. Because this game was being made before Roman lost the title, I just love the idea that they thought this was gonna happen. Like Cody was not gonna beat in WrestleMania. That's just why I laugh at this in hindsight. Because this was made before WrestleMania 40. They assumed Roman was never gonna lose. I guess they really thought Cody was never gonna finish the story. That's why I just find this pretty hilarious.
Raw GM William Regal named Cody as Raw's first entrant and said he was confident the title would be coming to Raw.
But SmackDown's brand new general manager, The Miz, didn't find this.
But why? I mean, we go off topic. I don't know if you've been in these streams. We've been off topic forever. These streams. That's the whole point of these streams. It's a live stream. It doesn't have to be focused on the game. We're here to have a conversation, Wrestling IG. This is just background stuff.
Let's take a look.
We're really for not Kit Wilson, especially since Kit Wilson had his team song October 9th. Well, I think it's a case of priority. Again, even though people like Kit Wilson, Austin Theory is more of a priority. And I guess the second logic is Austin Theory, all they had to do was just cut off his hair and change some. So I guess the idea of cutting off someone's hair and changing the VFX is slightly more easier than doing a completely different entrance animation that they didn't have planned for it to begin with. It just, and plus, to be fair, Kit Wilson, I love Kit Wilson, but the Kit Wilson to Austin Theory level, I know this sounds crazy me saying that, the priority is like Austin Theory is obviously more of a priority than Kit Wilson. That's just, it is what it is. That's basically what it October. I mean, Wrestling IG, you're questioning that. Tiffany Stratton is just getting her updated entrance. I must stress this. She's been on the main roster since 2024. She's been on the main roster since 2024. We're in 2026. We are just now getting her main roster entrance. They've been using her NXT entrance motion since 2K23. Did you really think they were going to update Kit Wilson's entrances on time? You have lost your goddamn mind. You're giving them, do you see that? You're giving them too much credit. Who should I be? All these generic people suck. We'll just do this mask guy. Who cares? Don't care. But yeah, that the answer to your question. They were never going to update it. they showed her 2K26 and she mentioned it was from that's what I'm saying. Yeah, she it's so bad. Even with CM Punk, like that was horrible. This is what I mean. I'm so glad I'm not part of that community. I'm so glad I wasn't flown out or whatever. Cause I would have looked so I would not want to be part of that. For all those people who got flown out and you're attached to that stuff, that just it makes y'all look like a joke. Cause like here you have the actual wrestlers, you know, that they're basing them off of. They're literally telling you to your face. Like CM Punk literally said, I've never did that move a day in my life. When they showed him do that super like that, basically Nikki Cross's finisher, she used to have it. CM Punk literally said, I never did that move a day in my life. He said it straight to the developer's face. Can they just give him whatever? Same like it's like
Do you do your best?
it's a joke.
Apply yourself.
It's a joke.
Well, you came to Raw more than a year ago now, and you've yet to
Like, look how long it took them Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion at the time, to update his entrance. It took him like 3 games for him to finally update his entrance. Found it weird they took TV reaction negatively for 2K to finally update her entrance. Same with ringside pass being reduced to 6. Because they don't care, bro. Unless they make it a problem. You know how much backlash they had? Trust me, as I said, the Hardy Boys, you best believe they were going to make Jeff Hardy, even though they said the superstars weren't going to tier 20, they were going to push to tier 40. You best believe they were going to make Jeff Hardy tier 40. Wasn't for the backlash was so unavoidable that they were going to make him tier 40. You best believe that was their whole game. This whole ringside pass was structured for Jeff Hardy to be a tier 40. That's the point. But the backlash happened. They have their way of doing it.
I'll bring my best.
And then LA Knight said they need to get him to his mocap and they did. But they haven't even updated. I'm assuming this patch is gonna have a bunch of updated entrances. So you would hopefully. But again, what do I know? Whatever this next patch comes out for 2K26, but again, like I'm hoping, and what 2K is actually gonna do are 2 different things. Here's the reality situation. Their priority is always going to be my faction in the island. They had to make sure those are always functional. Everything else is a secondary concern to them. So that's what it is. They just do not care. And yes, look, 2 games in a row, same menu. This is like the pure laziness. Remember we went from SmackDown versus Raw 2011 Road to WrestleMania. You walked around as a hub, and then you went to WWE 13 in 2010. Same different. It's like different experiences. They've been reusing. This is what I mean. Pure laziness. This is the same menu style that has been going on since 2K22 since they first started. All they did was change the UI. These are literally one for one the same. I'm pretty sure it's coded the exact. I'm pretty sure the code says 2K22 in terms of these files being loaded in. I swear to God, it probably says 2K22. They just changed the code, like just changed the paint. All this is exactly the same. There's nothing different. This is what I mean when I say it's just I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. That's like this is where I'm at with 2K. I'm not mad because the actual gameplay is fine. Bro, it would have been the icing on the cake. The gameplay was utter garbage. But it's like the gameplay is fine, but it's like I'm a dad. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed in them. They could do better. They could 100% be better. They could do better than this. They don't have to be in mediocrity. But when you have idiots pay for thousands of dollars of JPay cards, that's what they're going to prioritize. I've always said they're going to shut down community creation before they ever shut down my faction or the island, because even though it could, when at the end of the day, one is just a liability to them in terms of servers wise, and one of them is actually putting them money. So when push comes to shove, they're going to shut down the island. I mean, they're going to shut down community creation before they ever shut down the island. So I thought Roman Reigns tier was 330. Well, again, they retroactively, remember, this was being made before. I imagine they started development on this right around SummerSlam. So I guess they didn't truly know how long this reign was going to last. So yeah, sure, whatever. I don't care. I think that's what it is. They're assuming he was going to hold it. Remember, this already happened after WrestleMania, whatever. This is the following SummerSlam, not SummerSlam from 2023. SummerSlam 2024. So I'm assuming they're basing it off of that. I found it lazy that besides CM Punk 11, the other CM Punk variants use the same. Yeah, someone, I forgot who already said that. I think Qualim is the person that actually said that, yeah. The 2025 game model as a render. They don't care, bro. I told you, 2K does not care. Like these are the same like the animations that they do like this, same motions, not everything. Everything is exactly the same since 2K22. They use 2K22 as a foundation, and they just don't care. Yeah, I think, like I said, in terms of reign, I think they halted it. Let me rephrase it. They halted it at SummerSlam because they didn't truly knew how long his reign was going to last afterwards. I think that's what they were. I think this event, they halted the count. You correct me if I'm wrong. And that's basically what they decided on. All right, we're just going to do this first match. Just defeat Dominic. If only the showcase matches were like that. A simple task. Just defeat Dominic. If only the showcase matches like that. But overall, I mean, what are everyone's opinions of 2K24? Like I said, my biggest gripe with it was just the absolute abomination that was 40 years of WrestleMania. They didn't even try. Again, Triple H is on the goddamn cover of the special edition, and he doesn't even have a match in the goddamn showcase. Y'all could have at least, out of pure laziness, God forbid I asked for extra WrestleMania arena. You could have at least did out of the WrestleManias that were presented in the game. They could have done Triple H and Randy. The funny part is the actual showcase trailer hinted at Triple H and Randy Orton at WrestleMania 25 anyway. Because they had him in the trailer, right? They had him in the trailer posing on a turnbuckle in the WrestleMania 25 arena. So it was implied that was probably going to be the match. But nope, they couldn't even do that. It was a good game. Like I said, gameplay wise, it's fine. I'm never gonna like hate the gameplay of it. I can still do away with the fighting stances. I'm still lobbying against that. But in terms of like the combos, I've learned to live with it because it is what it is. But in terms of the actual game, my only real gripe is again these fighting stances right here, the fighting stances right here, and why do I still have to do a collar and elbow tie up for a goddamn DDT? This is not No Mercy. I feel like we was past that. You said you give it a 5 out of 10. Showcase was annoying, no sense of, because they're not fun. Like there's a reason to go back and play Attitude Era mode in 30 years of WrestleMania because the effort they put into it, the in-game cutscenes, the objectives just making sense and making you want to do it to relive. That's all. The whole point of Showcase is what they want you to relive the moment. How are you going to relive the moment if I'm watching a video? I might as well just go on the WWE Vault, great YouTube channel, by the way, and just play it right there. Like, come on. Like, seriously, what are we doing, people? I believe this should do it. 5 out of 10 Showcase was annoying. No, instead to play Universe in my gym. Yeah, it's just the thing, especially with my Universe mode this year, is like literally there's nothing in there that's special that you can't just play regular exhibition mode. Rob reactions I hate now because they make everything linear. There's no unpredictability. It sucks. It freaking sucks. My faction carrying you through this game. I can't. But don't you? Okay, so let me ask you something. As a my faction player, young schooler, how do you feel about the servers being down that you can't access it anymore? Like, when was the last time you were able to play the servers for 2K24? Like, I'm honestly got access as it for someone who actually plays my faction. Or do you like the idea that every 2 years these servers are gone, so all that effort was for nothing? Like, if they would stay, if it wasn't tied to online, I think I have less of a gripe with my faction. But knowing that this is just a 2-year thing, just to squeeze as much money out of these people as fortunately with you as well as possible, that's what annoys me. It's like, what are we doing here? Just a quick detour because I forgot who talked the roster. I want to see, these were like the final games of a lot of people. So 1 second, go back to that. I do believe this was the final games for. I'm on 2K14. I was on 2K14 on this panel. I do believe this was the final games for a lot of people. Let's see. Well, besides the Pat McAfee people, this was the final game of Bobby Lashley. I don't think Ashante was in 2K25, right? Was he in 2K25? I don't remember. Bad Bunny. So unfortunately, you can't play as him anymore. Baron Corbin did actually make it in at the last second. Tegan Knox, I don't think is in 2K25. They took her out. You know, I didn't reach her yet. Is Big Boss Man 2K25? I know Bobby Lashley's out. Was Booker T? Oh, he's as Persona. All of these are now tied. So all these alternate Bray Wyatts are now tied to my faction. Is Braun Strowman? I believe this is Braun Strowman's last game. Was he in 2K25? I'll be shocked if he was. He actually made it. Bobby Lashley is his last game. Brock Lesnar again was DLC. Carmella's last. No, I think Carmella made 2K25. She had to. She was in the women's showcase, so she made it. Cedric Alexander, this has to be his last game. No, he really made a lot of people made 2K25, so the cutoff point was actually a lot. Interesting. I hate it, but luckily I unlocked everything. The game was first game introduced using them offline. Yeah, the Persona card. So that's, I mean, there is one, like all these CM Punks that I can never play just because they tied them to freaking my faction. This Cora Jades, was she in 2K25? Yes, so the roster cutoff point is very interesting. Dakota Kai was in 2K25. Damon Kemp, there's no way he made 2K25. Yeah, okay. So this is last game. I'm about to say, come on. Dijak, I believe they cut him for 2K25. Yeah, this is his last game. Gulak, this is Gulak's last game. Ronda's last game as well. Duke? I believe so as well, actually. Yep. No, Duke was in 2K25. Huh, interesting. Who else? Gigi, she made the 2K25, right? She had to. I'm like 90% sure she did. Harley Race, I think he's still in him. I think he's still in it. Isla Dawn, she's definitely in 2K25. Indy, did she make it? Yes, she did. So basically, the heavy hitters are Bobby Lashley and Ronda so far. Who else are we missing? Jinder? There's no way Jinder made it in 2K25. I think we lost Jinder. God damn it, we lost Jinder, the modern day Maharaja. What about the Coffee Brothers? I think the Coffee Brothers are out. Oh no, fuck me. They made them in. Huh. I thought the Coffee Brothers was out. Juwan Cena, okay. Kano 8, Kyrie, Caden. No, they definitely were still in. No, there's no way. Wow, they were still. So the cutoff point from them getting released, Jesus, they just made it. I thought these people were not in 2K25 at all. Which is great. I mean, I'm just saying, god damn. Maurice, Michin. Is Molly Holly still in the games? I hope she is. Yes, she is. Perfect. All right. She's great. She should always stay in the game. Muhammad Ali, first and last appearance. MVP, this is definitely his last appearance. So you can't. I believe it's also Shelton Benjamin's last appearance. Omos, still going strong, Omos. And Noam Dar. I know he just came back. Who else? Ricochet. This has to be Ricochet's last game. Yep. So the heavy hitters are Bobby Lashley, Ronda Rousey, and Ricochet. I know Drew Gulak. Rich Holland was definitely in 2K25. I think Robert Roode, even though he's still with the company, this is actually his last game, I believe. Yep. Last time playable, even though he's still with the company as a producer. So Robert Roode, whatever you want to call him, unfortunately, that's his last game. First and last appearance of Sanga. Scripps as well. Shayna, I am 90% sure she made it 2K25. Yep. Yes, she did. Never hinder. I was like, yeah, the last game of the modern day Maharaja. Is this the last game of Sonya? No, she made a lot of people made it at the last second. Stone Cold. I think no, this is 100% Tegan Knox's last game. You cannot convince me otherwise. See, I knew it. No, fuck me. She's in 2K25. Damn it, she made it. I mean, I'm not bad. It's like I really thought they'd cut her. That cutoff point, wow, they could not cut all these people. But they cut out some of them though. Like again, they cut out gender and whatnot. Everyone else, Valhalla, I believe she was in 25. Yep. She made it, but gender couldn't make the list. God damn. Wesley made it in 25 too. Xia Li, I don't think she made it. There's no way she made it. Yep, she didn't make it. So there you go. She didn't make it. And Zoe Stark, I know, made it. Was only missing Batista away, Undertaker 20. I got everyone else I wanted. Didn't care for stuff like Piper, CM Punk, Triple H, Rhea, or Lisa, or 64-bit one. Because it's so stupid. I don't know why 2K thinks we want this. Who asked for this? This is just wasting time, people. Like, come on. I remember Firefly found out Cena and Bray Wyatt. Arguably the best match in the entire showcase just for the craziness aspect of it. So, yeah. But yeah, just wanted to show you my rides. Still the same menu. 2K25 is arguably, like I said, to this point, the best my rides they did in recent time. But that's pretty much the story of 2K24. Similar to 2K23. I mean, the gameplay fine, but everything here's the thing. The whole, even ignoring the 4 new match type, the entirety of this mode was hinging on 40 years of WrestleMania, and they blew it. They didn't even try. I mean, it's my fault. Again, why did I think they were going to do anything? Once I saw what they did with Superstar Mode in 2K22, how they advertised it, and what we actually got, I should have knew they were going to do the bare minimum. Here I thought, just one match for 40 years of just one match for each WrestleMania, 40 matches. I should have known better. I would, if it was more than 15, I would have been shocked. They did 17, so there you go. I should have known better. 40, like, that's a pipe dream. That requires effort and caring about what you're doing. But no, yeah, like again, gameplay wise, it's fine. But there's basically no incentive for you to buy this game in retrospect. Do I recommend it now? No, because there's the showcase sucks. The my rides aren't that good to warrant you going out your way to play this. Just play 25s. I always recommend like 25 and then like just the current game 26 and then 22 for these set of games, but 23 or 24 are completely skippable. You're not missing anything from those games. Yes, I know Cena has the show, but because the biggest issue with 23 and 24, they had the showcase effect where you're just watching a movie. I know 22 had it, but it wasn't as egregious as 23 and 24. You're just watching a clip from Peacock or YouTube. That's basically what you're doing. So I can't recommend these games. It was just disappointing for 24. So with 25, they decided, since anniversary, go back to the basics. They decided to again dig from the well, and stuff that they took out in previous games, they brought it back in. And honestly, the amount of stuff that I will say this with 25, the amount of stuff that they for tomorrow's stream, the amount of stuff they add into it was worthy enough to upgrade from 22. However, 25 is the best representation of the current state of the games. It's a inner battle between the developers. You have on one side people who want to make the perfect wrestling game possible, and the stuff that they added in 25, we're getting that much closer to it. And then on the other half, they only care about how much money can we squeeze out of these microtransactions as possible. We don't care about anything else. It's like an inner battle between the two developers. I mean, between developers and Visual Concepts. I know like the Brian Williams side, who just wants to make the best wrestling game possible. Then you have the Cornells of the world, who's on that side. So we're gonna look at that tomorrow with 2K25, the cost of a perfect game, the finale of this event, this 25-day event. Again, I just want to tell you guys who've been watching live or on demand, I appreciate you all who've been here these past 24 days. I didn't expect anything out of this. I thought I was going to be speaking to myself, but now I have familiar faces that I've been recognizing every single day. Mustafa, Slade, who've been here almost basically since, I think, SmackDown vs. Raw, and Mustafa. I appreciate you guys. You've been here this whole time. You've pretty much been here every single day. Alex, Kwamik as well. Pretty much been here every single day. Michael. All these people that I didn't when I first started this to now. I didn't think anyone would catch on to understand what I was trying to do, but the fact that you guys are here, I think you see the vision I was trying to do with this series. I appreciate that so much. I'm sad that all good things must come to an end tomorrow, and also tomorrow we're going to be discussing the future of this channel, direction, all this stuff. Now that after this event, I can reevaluate some stuff. When the next time I'm going to upload anything, all that's going to be tomorrow. So Mustafa's here, Young Scooter, Vincent, Michael, Alex, Kwamik, Joe. See, all these familiar names that I've come to know in these past 24 days all comes to an end tomorrow. But I mean, I'll be back on stream soon after this. I definitely got to take a week break. That's 100% sure. Whether I come back earlier than that, I don't know. I am exhausted. I've been running on like 3 to 4 hour sleeps every single day for 24 days straight. So over 3 weeks, I've been on 3 to 4 hours of sleep. Sorry, says Slade, Young Scooter, Will, who's been here for a while. Make sure I don't miss anyone before we call it quits. Said Alex. If I did it, Jennifer, who's new here, appreciate you stopping by. Hope to see you tomorrow. Beans on Toast, Wrestling IG. Again, the timing of you stopping by was perfect. Joe, Beans on Toast. I get everyone today. Inman. I think I got everyone. So thank you guys. Yep, the last day is tomorrow, Slade. Are you gonna do retrospect on 2K26? No, because there's 2 reasons why I'm not doing it. One, the game is still going. It's not finished. I know we live in a world where games aren't finished despite them being released 2 months ago. The DLC's not out yet, the patches. The game could look completely different. So I'm not gonna write the story of 2K26 and give my thoughts on it if the pages are still being written. That's my point of view. Because I don't want to be part of the group where every single day my opinion changes on the internet. One day you hate the game and now it's the best game ever because they updated something that you wanted. I'm going to wait until the finished version of it comes, like to fully give my full thoughts on like this type of video, like stream. I'm going to wait until the last patch comes out, and then I can fully talk about it. I want to, like, I think 2K22 is a perfect example of you have no idea what they're going to add. No one expected 2K to add the NXT 2.0 arena in that game, but they did. So they can surprise you at sometimes. Anyway, Aleister Black, he was never part of the DLC, but they added him in the game last year, and then I got to take him out 2K27. Funny how life works. They give you something and they just take it away from you. So that's why I said I as much as I crap on 2K, they do surprise me from time to time. And we're gonna see what they do. So that's why I'm not gonna give this type of stream to it anytime soon. And plus, when I actually do give my thoughts on it, I feel like it would be that much bigger of a deal. And I'm giving you guys the full experience from beginning to end. That's just my point of view. But thank you guys. We're gonna be here tomorrow, 8 o'clock, the finale. All things must come to an end with 2K25. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.